Welcome, Kingdom students. Today is day 2. Coach Cindy here, and I want to welcome you today to day 2. I'm so excited to be with you guys today. So much more to cover in today's session. We will be joining with Coach Chadwin soon, and so I'm just so excited that you guys are here today. I hope you guys enjoyed day 1. If you thought day 1 was good, it's just going to get better and better and better. And so welcome to day 2. Today we're going to go through kingdom multiplication. But if you missed day 1, please go to guide 3 where the challenge training is located. Please, 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 if you've missed day 1's session, you do not want to miss out. Go to guide 3 in the Facebook group to watch the replay. So excited that you guys are here today. Let's get it going. So for our agenda today, we are going to go through the teams. I'm going to explain again how you can win the grand prize and how you can score points. We're going to go over the leaderboard standings, a lot of surprise this for you guys. We're going to go through kingdom multiplication with Coach Chadwin. And then again, I'm going to invite you guys to go backstage with me to the VIP. Yesterday's VIP session was so good. We had to meet you guys face to face, and it was such an awesome time hanging out with you guys, going through mindset training. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. So if you have not signed up for the VIP yet, please go ahead and do that right now. So again, we're going to go to the teams. Okay, so the trend reversals. Welcome. If you part of the trend reversals team 1 group, please put a 1 in the comment section. I want to see those comments, guys. Please put the number 1 in the comment section if you are part of the trend reversals group. And we have the team captain, Greg. Team 2, wealth builders. If you are on team 2, if you're on the wealth builders team, put a 2 in the comment section. Let me see who is on team wealth builder. So good to see you guys. I see Dana over there on team 1. Lions Den, if you on team 3, put the 3 in the comment section. Hey, welcome everyone to the Facebook live challenge. So good to have you guys over here. So we have team 3, which is the Lions Den. Team 4, we have abundance givers. We have team captain Joy. If you are on team 4 abundance givers team, put a 4 in the chat. So good to have you guys here today with us. And then last but not least, team 5 is the red hot traders. We have team captain Kaylee Ann. So good to have you guys here. If you're on team 5, please put a 5 in the chat. We want to see you guys here. Hype each other up, hype your team up. Let's get going. So excited. A lot of things planned for today. So we're just so excited to have you guys here today. Also, again, just to remind you guys, the grand prize, if you are the winner, your entire team gets access to our grand prize, which consists of Foundations of Workbook. We have a digital course and mindset training, as well as second, third prize. And if you are the top contributor, you'll get a $100 Amazon gift card. So guys, we still have 48 more hours to go. So post your videos, introduce yourself. Let's see if we can get this thing, because you do not want to miss out on winning this amazing prize. Yes, today is going to be amazing. So good to see you guys over there. To have you with us today. So again, just to reiterate how to score a point, you have to complete the tasks for the day. 1 point per team for each member for each task completed. Winners will be announced tomorrow, guys. Oh my goodness, tomorrow. You have a couple of hours left to go till tomorrow. 3 points for a written testimonial, 4 points for a video testimonial. Post inside the group, and it must include hashtag testimonial in the description to be qualified. Winners will be announced tomorrow. Guys, team captains, please encourage your team. Encourage those on your team to post and introduce yourself. Get outside of your comfort zone, okay? So we will be waiting to see all your testimonials. So let's get it started. Day 2 leaderboard. We have in first place with 53 points is Wealth Builders. Oh my goodness. Trend reversals. You guys were top. Yesterday, we have Wealth Builders coming up at first position with 53 points. We have the trend reversals at 51 points. Oh, the competition is very close. We have coming at number 3, coming from the 5th spot is Red Hot Traders from 5th to 3rd spot. You go, Red Hot Traders. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys have 44 points. We have Abundance Givers at 41 points and Lions Den at 30 points. Lions Den, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the challenge yet. So please get your teammates to post, to introduce himself, to post videos, and just to let us know how it's going. Guys, you don't have that long, but we do have an additional day so that you guys can win that grand prize. You do not want to miss out on winning those grand prize. Red Hot Traders, I'm very proud of you guys. You were in 5th place yesterday, and you guys on 3rd place. Who knows? anything can happen in this next few hours. Okay, so keep on posting, keep on getting outside of your comfort zone. So glad to have you guys here today. With that being said, I'm going to introduce to you Coach CHADWIN. He's going to come on and he has an amazing training for you guys. Today, we're going to focus on multiplication, that is strategies, how to trade, how to actually read the market. Because at the end of the day, we want to be able to read the market when you're putting in those trades. And so I'm so excited that you get to be coached by Coach CHADWIN today. So guys, please put in the comments if you guys are ready to see Coach CHADWIN. If you are ready to be taught some strategies by Coach CHADWIN, please put a 10 in the comment section. He's going to be here with us in the next 30 seconds. So guys, get ready. Get out your notepads, get out your pens. Let's get
Hey. Good day. So excited to be with you guys tonight. My name is Coach CHADWIN, and we're going to have an amazing training. I hope you guys have got your notepads out and your pens ready, because we're going to take it up a notch. We're going to take it up a level. So the whole idea by the challenge was to progress from one stage to another. And so tonight we're going into the next phase, which is multiplication. So if you guys are excited, just give me an 8 in the box. Give me an 8 in the chat. I want to see those 8s coming in, or I'm going to leave this live right now and I'm going to end right here. Right? I'm going to do that. No jokes. I ain't playing. Give me an 8 in the chat. Let me see those 8s coming in. Come on now. Absolutely. I love that. Okay. We're going to have a great session. So my name is Coach CHADWIN Solomon. That's the name I go by. That's the name I've been given. And first things first, I want you to have a look at the screen at the moment. Have a look at my photos that I've put up, right? There's significance in it. First and foremost, the first thing you have to notice is I only take pictures with mics in my hand. That's all I do. Like, I need a microphone in my hand. I'm not taking that picture, right? That's the crux of why I'm doing that. No, obviously that's not the reason. But it's going to be very significant when I tell you a little bit about myself. And so I find that before I actually teach you anything, you need to ask yourself, why should I listen to this guy? Right? I need to validate who I am. I need to say why you should listen to me. Now, I'm asking you for your permission tonight to listen to me, but I need to first speak about who I am, right? My name is Coach CHADWIN Solomon, as you can see, and my primary thing in life is being a speaker, right? A speaker. That's why I've got a mic in my hand almost every time you see me. But before we get there, let me backtrack a little bit. Now, I know on this stream, probably everybody in here, you've just had an amazingly awesome life. Nothing has gone wrong with you. It's just been perfect. Give me a 9 in the box if it's been perfect, and give me a 7 in the box if I'm lying. Let me see what comes in. Right? I want to see. Okay. So listen up. This is who I am. I was born to a single parent, right? And now I don't want to go that far back because you don't have time for that, but I just want to tell you what has happened in my life very briefly. I could tell you about extreme poverty. I could tell you about losing a child. I could tell you about growing up without a father. I could tell you so many things that so many of you could probably relate to, but really the story I want to tell you is the story of you. Now, in order for me to tell that story, you have to hear a little bit about me. So at the age of 13, I became a minister. Now, remember, this is Kingdom First, and I have to show you the progression. So at the age of 13, I became a minister. And as a young age, I know some of you are thinking, are you crazy? 13, I'd never let my kid minister. But that's just who I am. Now, let me say this before we go any further. I might not be that good. I'm probably substandard on a stream or something. But if you see me in person, put me in front of a crowd and put some people around me, I'm a beast. I'm something else. I'm not even going to shy away from it. And the reason that is because I've been called to do that. But listen to what happened, right? So at the age of 13, I started ministry, life progressed, and I'm going and speaking and speaking and speaking to bigger crowds and more crowds. And the crowds were getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually I ended up on stages of 1,500 people in attendance, and even once in a 5,000-seater event. And I was the person that they called upon to come and speak, right? But why is that significant? It's significant because my gift was speaking, but the enemy took away my voice. Now you're gonna understand what I'm saying right now. Let me explain something. So David, right? David is in the field, but he has to fight a Goliath. Some of you are gonna catch this right now. The enemy never attacks you because of who you are now. He attacks you because of who you can be. Come on, if you agree with that, just give me a yes in the box. Give me a yes in the chat. I agree with that. Come on, that's a revelation for someone right now. He never attacks you because of who you are now. He attacks you because of who you can be. Some of you are now only understanding why life has been so difficult, why life has been so hard, is because you assumed that he was attacking you based on who you are now, but he was actually attacking you based on who you can be. And that's why we brought about this wealth challenge, because we want to take you through a process of who you are now to who you can be. Some of you don't understand that you are king. Some of you don't understand that you are a queen. You're still stuck in the shepherd boy's body. You don't know that you're supposed to emerge. You're supposed to be on the battlefield. You're supposed to be taking things back. This is your time. This is your season. This is your moment. The attacks will always set up against you because of who you can be. Let's make you into the beast that you were ordained to be. Let's make you into that person. So why is my story significant? And really, just to wrap up this whole idea, is that the biggest thing I needed and the biggest thing that I was doing was I was speaking, and the enemy removed my voice by frustrating my finances and by restricting me financially and removing my father and all sorts of things like that, restricting me in that way. And so this is what the enemy oftentimes does. He doesn't go directly at your gift. And so you'll find you're still encouraging, you're still a good person, you still do the things you ought to do, but somehow you just can't get a breakthrough. You just can't get going. And the reason you cannot do that is because he's frustrating who you can be. So once again, he robbed me by taking away my voice. Very shortly, 16 years, I worked for a person, another man's dream. 16 years, I invested all my effort in another man's dream. How many of you have been there where you've invested time and effort in someone else's dream, someone else's desire, someone else's purpose, and have nothing to show for it? That was me. So what is my story? My story is your story. I'm getting there. It's relevant. So now understand that all I needed was a voice. And so they dangled this carrot in front of me. And let me tell you what I walked away from to join this kingdom mission. So on the day I finally actually stepped away from that 16-year hard work for someone else, they offered me 33% ownership of that company. And guess what I said? I said no. Now this was a multi-million rand company, multi-million dollar actually company. And I said no. And the reason I said no is I was done working on someone else's vision. It was time for me to work on my own vision and join this mission. So if you've been there, if you've done that, please let us hear in the chat. If you agree, if you've experienced a hard life, a difficult life, this is my story, but it's also your story. My story is a story of a student. The last image is the image that explains how I got here. It's the story of a student. I was once a Kingdom day trader student. Now I am not only a senior coach, but I'm also a partner in the business. Why? Because I joined a mission that supports the calling on my life, that supports the dream. That's what we are about. We're not just a trading organization, but what we are is we are a kingdom organization first. So let's go on. Let's get into the meat of tonight. You're going to learn some things. Let's get that books and pens out. it's going to get good. What is my mission this evening? My mission is to show you how to analyze the institutional footprint. In fact, I'm going to make a bold statement. I'm going to tell you that the markets are manipulated, and I'm going to prove it to you tonight. If you'd like to see that, just give me a yes in the comments. Give me a yes. Okay, why are you here? First of all, you have to ask this question. You have to be able to answer this question. Why are you here? Number one, some of us are here because you want to increase your income. Maybe it's supplemental. You want to add something else to it, or maybe it's just finding a new income. Number two is some of you are here because you have a measure of wealth, but you want to protect that nest egg. You want to protect that asset. And that's kind of why you are here tonight, right? If that's you, just put that in the chat, please. And then number three is some of you are completely, you know how to trade, right? But you haven't transitioned from trading to trading as a business. And so that might be why you are here tonight. And then number four is you are new to investing and you're new to trading and you just want to learn a new skill. And that's why you are here tonight. Let me tell you something about our process. It fits all of the above. So if any of those things is true for you, then you are in the right place. Right, let's talk about it again. Coach Brian said it to you yesterday. We're going to reiterate it again. Who makes money in the markets? There are two types of traders. There are retail traders and there are institutional traders, right? And the retail traders, they operate completely different to the institutional traders. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these, but I'm going to tell you the general concept is the retail traders, they use a bunch of indicators. In other words, they're getting signals from all sorts of areas and none of it is making sense, right? They chase candles. They use basic support and resistance, very emotional, buy high, sell low, driven by fear. And you know what? They have no risk management. Then we've got the institutional traders. They understand the dynamics of supply and demand. If you want to understand the dynamics of supply and demand, give me a yes in the chat. Come on, let's keep that chat on fire. We need to keep that chat going tonight. I'm a very fired up speaker, so you gotta stay with me. Or I'm gonna fall asleep. You don't want me to fall asleep, right? Okay, institutional traders understand volume. They understand market structure and liquidity, and they understand how to operate with a system and a logic-based approach. They buy low and they sell high. They use the retail fear to their profit, and also they have an understanding that risk management is the game, right? Risk management is the game, and they profit 95% of the time, whereas retail traders lose 95% of the time. We operate over here in Kingdom Day Traders on the three-pronged approach, which is mindset, multiplication, and management. Tonight is the multiplication session. If you guys are ready for multiplication, I know I can't hear you, right? But I can hear you in spirit. That's just how I am. I can hear you. Just give me a woo-hoo, a yes, sir. Wherever you are, let me hear that. I know I can hear you. I heard that. Okay, all good. Let me talk to you about a day trading strategy that's applicable to all markets. Don't you just hate when you have to learn something new and there's like so much different things that you have to compress into this one understanding? And so some of you have learned about option strategies. Some of you have learned about futures strategies. Some of you have learned about stocks strategies. And really, you look like a guy in the picture. Your head is in a spin. You have no idea what you ought to be doing. That's why we've got a strategy that fits any market. Now, if you'd like something like that, just give me a yes. Give me another yes in the chat box, right? If you'd love something like that, where it's applicable to any market, whether you're trading options, forex, futures, or anything, whether you're trading cattle, right? Whether you're trading sheep on a hill somewhere, it's applicable to that, right? We've got that strategy. Okay, we're talking tonight about leverage assets. And as I said, it's a day trading strategies that applies to all leveraged assets. Let's look at this and let's break it down. So stocks, you're looking in the US, you're looking at 2-to-1 leverage, meaning that you can control $4,000 in the market for an investment of $2,000. That's amazing, right? You've got buying power. Number two, we've got options, and that's an investment of $2,000, and you are able to control buying power of $20,000. Then we got futures, which is a 20-to-1 situation, and it's for 2K investment, you can control $40,000. $100,000. And then the granddaddy of it all, the most traded asset in the entire world, Forex, which is $2,000, and you are able to control $100,000 in the market. Somebody put in the chat $100,000. Now, what is leverage assets? In case you are totally new to this and this is your first time on a day trading stream, what is a leverage asset? It speaks about borrowing capital and it gives you the ability to invest more than you can afford. Isn't that amazing? To invest more than you actually can afford. Can you imagine if you walked up to a car dealership and they were like, you know what? This car is $200,000, but if you had $10, we'll take it, right? All of us would be like, you know what? I'll take 3. I'll take 4, right? You don't need a large amount of money to generate wealth. We want to debunk that tonight. You do not need a large amount of money to generate wealth. Knowing how to trade a leverage asset can give you potential to accelerate your growth. Now, listen to this. Smart people leverage OPM. OPM, write that down. Smart people leverage OPM. Some of you are like, Coach, what is OPM? Other people's money. Write that down. I got to leverage other people's money. Okay. We have to speak about the elephant in the room, right? Because a lot of you, if you came on here and I've seen when you guys joined, you said, you know what, I know something about day trading and I know something about trading in general. And I just want to better my knowledge. And we have to speak about the elephant in the room, and that's structured education versus YouTube. Let me ask you this. What would be better? And I want to get an answer in the chat for this one. What would be better, a doctor who went to university and studied to become a doctor, or a doctor who watched a couple of YouTube videos and said, you know what, let me operate on you today. I'm going to do the surgery. I can do it. Let me hear, right? A doctor or a YouTube doctor or a structured education doctor? I think we need to get that settled right now. There's just no way you're going to be able to learn the skill that you require by putting it together through a whole lot of different pieces, right? Let's look at institutional trading strategies. Supply and demand is the fundamental principle that moves the market. I don't know if you know this, but every single one of you have a superpower. You have a superpower, right? And that superpower is pattern recognition. Let me explain to you what I mean. Even as a young kid or even as an animal, very early on, they are able to recognize faces, shapes, and structures, even before they can speak it, even before they can walk, even before they can do anything that is autonomous. They can recognize who their parent is. They can recognize who their father or mother are because they have pattern recognition built into them. God has designed us in such a way that we are able to recognize patterns. And so now people have told you, right? People have told you that you need all sorts of different things in order to trade successful, right? People have told you that you need this, you need that indicator, you need this indicator. And I've come to tell you tonight, all you need is to be able to see a pattern. If you can recognize your child's face, you can trade. If you can recognize your parent's face, you can trade. If you can recognize even just your computer, you can trade. Why am I saying that? Because at the core of it all, trading is just recognizing patterns, understanding why the market is producing the things that it produces. Now, I do notice we are getting some spam in the chat. And for those of us who are on the chat live, just, look beyond that and look past that. We know that we are here for kingdom purposes. And when those kind of things happen, right, the enemy tries to attack it. So if you are seeing that, just, look past that tonight. So conventional thinking, let's keep going. Conventional thinking is that you need head and shoulders, you need double tops, double bottoms, you need all sorts of things to make yourself successful. But the real institutions understand that the market is booked on supply and demand, right? Supply and demand. Okay, let's talk about the meat. We're going to get into it now. Institutional trading strategies, institutional day trading footprint is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the repeatable patterns in the market. I'm going to show you the basics of supply and demand principles. And I'm going to prove to you tonight, if you stay to the end of the stream, I'm going to prove to you tonight that the market is definitely manipulated. I'm going to prove to you that the institutions are making money in a systematic way. And once you understand that, you can also profit from that kind of understanding. Okay, let's talk about this. Let me show you the intro to the institutional footprint. There's a couple of things on this particular slide. So if you're doing this on a phone, I need you to lean in. If you're doing it on a PC, I need you to lean in as well. There's a couple of things we need to see here. And so one of the first things I want you to see is that value shifts based on markets shift rather based on value. Markets shift based on value. Premium products attract a premium price. And now this basic understanding of supply and demand is actually what's going to set you ahead of everyone else, right? If you understand that the way you buy anything in life is also the way you're going to trade, this is going to set you apart, and you have to lean into this idea. There's a couple of gems on this particular chart that you have to see. Look at this. Did price drop randomly, or did it hit the institutional footprint? Now, I know because you haven't recognized the institutional footprint before, you're probably not going to know what you ought to be looking at now. But our students, the KDT students, they already know exactly what they're seeing over there. So I want to show you what I actually pointed out here and marked out on the chart, right? And so on this particular chart, and we're going to look at two charts tonight where I'm going to explain some stuff to you. On this particular chart, exactly when the Ukraine war happened, exactly when the Ukraine war happened, we saw the euro dollar drop. So we need to ask ourselves now, did price randomly drop, or did it hit an institutional footprint? Was it the war, or was there supply and demand and manipulation in the first place? And the answer to that question is there is no randomness. There is manipulation. This alone tonight should blow your mind. It should blow your mind. How is it that price hit that supply zone, literally touched it, and then started dropping from there? Let's go back to that point. Let's just get, okay. Literally hit that point, right? And then dropped from there. So it wasn't the war. It wasn't Russia. It was a pre-planned. I'm not saying the war was planned, but what I'm saying is when price started moving from that point, it was because it was pre-planned. That should blow your mind. That's the exact point. You can go and have a look at this on your chart. This is what we call a supply zone on top. It's one of the institutional footprints. And as you can see, price has dropped from there. I want you to make notes about this tonight because you're going to need this when you trade, right? Now, watch what happens. This is the last point of demand. And so that's the last area that according to the program that we teach, according to that, we understand if we get past this point, then high institution volumes has gotten themselves into this particular trade. And by that, just that little gem, it means that there's going to be a long-term institutional intent, which is to sell off. So I'm telling you right now that the next time price turns up is not going to be when the war stops. It's not going to be that. The next time price turns up is when it hits the next institutional footprint. Now, I'm giving you a couple of things that you can go and look at on your charts on your own so that you can know that, Coach, tonight you're speaking the truth. Watch that right to the day. The last highest point on the chart was on that day, and it was in a supply zone. I don't know how much more I've got to convince you about that. But if you are shocked, just put it in the chat. Say, shocked. I'm shocked, Coach. Join me on this. I'm shocked. Come on. Absolutely so interesting. Yes. Okay, now I'm going to blow your mind and show you that there is a pattern. Now, some of you are going to say to yourself, I know this. If you've been a trader for a while, you're going to say to yourself, that's just head and shoulders. No, it's not. There's a specific set of rules that play a part of what's going on here. Now, I want you to pay close attention. Once again, you're going to have to lean into the chart. You're going to have to see some stuff. But I'm going to, here on the bottom left, What you're looking at is the daily time frame, right? I'm teaching you tonight. I am teaching you tonight, and I hope you guys are seeing this. I hope you guys are finding value. But I'm teaching you something. I've drawn out a pattern on the daily time frame, and this is cell model number 1. Now, if you look a little higher, just above that area where it says 29th to the September the 8th, for your own references, in other words, Coach CHADWIN's not making this stuff up. You can jump off the stream. You can have a look at the euro dollar. You can go and see whether or not this happened in this particular way, right? So at the 29th to the 8th of September is the area you're going to look in to see whether or not this happened. Now, at the bottom left, pay close attention to this. And I want to say this to the people who's never traded before as well. The objective here tonight is not for you to say, you know what, I have no idea what this guy is talking about. He's talking about charts. He's talking about candles. What is this? No, that's not the objective. The objective is to ask one question. Can you see a pattern? Can you see this zigzag pattern? If you can see a zigzag pattern and you understand the conditions that produce it, you can trade. Right? So let's have a look at here. So on the daily time frame, cell model number 1, we can see quite clearly that there's a specific pattern. Now, what I've done is I've gone down to the 4-hour time frame of the chart. And when we speak hours, we're speaking about different time frames that we select on a chart. I've gone down to the 4-hour in that exact same spot. In fact, I've taken the screenshot in such a way that you can still see that that was the daily red block over there. And in the 4-hour, I've shown you once again that the exact same thing has played out, looking exactly the same cell pattern in that area. I took it one step further. One more step further to prove to you unconditionally that the markets are manipulated. If you look at the 15-minute at the bottom right over here, right? Can you see this pattern? It's exactly the same thing again. It's showing you one more time that price now went into the 4-hour and produced exactly the same thing. Let me remind you guys that we're going to take this up a notch in VIP a little later. And if you join us, I'm going to actually teach you a strategy that you can use today. You can literally use it today to extract something out of the market, right? Okay, let's move on. So you'll see the exact same pattern on the 15-minute again. And so this should teach you something. What is the crux of this particular lesson tonight is that there are patterns in the market. I'm not talking about bull flags and bear flags and those things that is freely available on YouTube, which is designed to mess you up. Let me ask you this. Don't you think that it would be in the bank's best interest, in the large institutional traders' interest, that they put up things that they can use to manipulate you? My students know I show them exactly where all of us are going to get manipulated. And then right before that happens, we take the institutional footprint. And the human mind is designed to see patterns. You're going to use that superpower, right? Let's move on. Let's look at some student results. Over here, I've got Mr. Matthew. Love this guy. He's from Jamaica. And one of his favorite words is to say, "Yeah, man." And so this is a testimonial from him. This is something, we didn't ask for this. He posted this in the group. If he's on this chat, he can confirm that as well. And look what he says. He says, all I have learned has allowed me to correct many of my trading mistakes, trading with more purpose and profitability after gaining the understanding. What understanding? The institutional footprint understanding, right? You get out of it what you put in. Trust the system and the process. Give it your all, and I believe it will empower you. Relationships are built on trust, and I am unable, speaking about KDT, Kingdom Day Traders now, to find a dishonest moment since I've been a member. Currently halfway through my second sample size, of which I've been able to find a success of 10 to 700% profitability per trade. I've got 5 open positions. One is currently down, very small. I have enough time and corresponding alerts to signal my actions. The program works. Teach a man to fish is always better than giving him a fish. If you'd love to be taught how to be a fisherman, please comment right now. Let's look at the second one. This is from Michelle. Michelle says, couldn't sleep last night, literally dreaming about trading. I've been there. QQQ up $6 and the SPY up $4 in the pre-market. putting in a 50-cent trailing stop and letting them ride. Full schedule at work today, but guess who's not losing money? Can't go broke taking profits. Words to live by. Thank you, coaches Cindy, Brian, Chadwin, and Clayton. So another one of our students just showing what the power of the institutional footprint is. Right now, the process of learning multiplication is 3-part. Guys, again, we're not done. VIPs, we're taking it up a notch. Please go to the link if you want to join us at the back. I'm going to go deep. I'm going to show you exactly what you can use right now to actually put in some trades, right? The process is 3-pronged multiplication, just like we have mindset multiplication and management. We also got multiplication having 3-pronged approach, and that's theory, application, and execution. Now, here's the thing. The theory is basically the overview of a thing. It's what you get in the textbook, right? It tells you what the result of doing a specific thing will be. And then you get application, and the application in this context is the framework, right? The framework in which you ought to do the theory. And then the execution is acting upon the application, the framework, so that you can produce the results of what you understood and learned in the theory. But there's a major problem with all three of this, is that if you can't start at number 1, you cannot move on to number 2, which is application, and you truly cannot move on to number 3, which is execution. Let's move on. Institutions have an inner circle, and I'm sorry to say this to many of you tonight, you are not in it. The Bible says in Hosea 4 verse 6, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Failure has an enemy, and its name is knowledge. So I got a little picture over there at Superman with kryptonite, and that really is what knowledge is to failure. If you want to move yourself from failure to success, you need to come to the correct understanding. You need to understand what the institutional footprint is. If you're getting value out of the stream tonight, just give me a yes in the chat. Come on. If you're getting value, let's get that yeses flowing in right now. Right? The first step to success in multiplication is getting the correct knowledge. Now, I want to say this to everyone on the stream tonight, because I understand that some of you are coming from the perspective that you've never traded and you just need something. You need something to push you ahead in life. And so you're looking at this particular thing and saying to yourself, you know what? Perhaps this is the thing that I need. Right? That's one of us. Someone else is coming and saying, you know what, coach, I know how to trade. I need consistency. Teach me the institutional footprint. Teach me how to do this. Some of you have paid for course after course. You've gone through system after system, watched thousands of hours of YouTube, and you're just saying, I just need help. Just show me how to transition from theory to application, from application to execution, and to have the results that multiplication entails. I want to first tell you, before you can move on to that, this is what you have to do. Don't punish yourself for not knowing. What do I mean by that? Don't punish yourself for knowledge you did not have. You see, some people join our institution and they're broken down and they saying, you know what, coach, you guys are amazing, but I just want to say I've been doing this for 5 years. I've been doing this for 10 years. You know what I tell them? I say, stop punishing yourself for the years where you were under bad instructors, under bad teachers, and you had bad instruction, and therefore you had bad results. So some of you are joining and you know what you're saying, life is messed up, it's hard, it's difficult. Let me give you a kingdom principle. Until you are in the kingdom, you cannot command the kingdom results. But once you get in the kingdom and you exercise kingdom principles, you will have kingdom results. And that's why I left a 33% ownership in a company to come and join another company, which I believed was principle-based and kingdom-based. Because let me say this to you, God makes kings, he doesn't make subjects. And so therefore I could move and transition from where I was a subjected king to become a free king, to reign and rule and be in a position of influence. So don't punish yourself for things that were out of your control. Another student result. Let's look at this. Come on now. You have to zoom in here. Have a look at what it's saying. It says practicing what we have learned. What does she mean? What does Angel mean right here? She means the institutional footprint. Practicing what we have learned, got into EU on the 1 minute chart, The highest was 1 to 11. This was in the trade. I was in the trade for 5 minutes total, 5 minutes total, and took profits on the way. Total profit today was 500%. Somebody just put in the chat 500%. Put in the chat 500% in 5 minutes. Come on now. I cannot make this up. Okay. So before we move on, this is the crux of what you need to understand today. You need to understand that the markets are 100% manipulated. 100% manipulated. Now, before we move over to Coach Brian, let me tell you a quick story, and then I'm handing over to our head coach. Right? What you need to take away tonight is the markets are manipulated. You can use that patterns. Go and look at it on the market. Go and look at it in that time frame and other time frames as well. Remember, we've got VIP after this. It's going to be amazing. I'm going deep. I'm fired up. This is nothing. What you've seen so far is nothing, right? It's great, but it's nothing compared to what's coming. But let me tell you a quick story. So this young boy, he's just got a toy, which is an airplane, right? An aeroplane, and he is playing with it. And him and his father's walking down the street one day, and he says, "Dad, how big is an airplane? How big is an airplane? Right? How big is it?" And luckily at that time, his dad points up into the sky, and his dad says, "There's one flying right now." This little young boy, he looks at it and he says to himself, "Oh, so it's quite small, quite small." And his dad thinks, no, I can't leave him here. Let me take him to an actual airport and let me show him how a plane looks. So his dad drives him to the airport, and they get to the airport and they look at this plane, and his dad looks through the window and says, "My son, that's the size of a plane." And the son looks at the plane, and his son says, "So it's big, Daddy." So his father turns to him and says, "You know what? That's how it is with God. The further you are away from him, the smaller he seems. The closer you get to him, the bigger he seems." And so the only thing that changed at that time was where they were standing in the relation to the plane. And so oftentimes it is like that with the principles of the God and with the promises thereof as well. His promises is that you got to get closer to him to actually see the results and see how big he really is. And so what you need to do tonight is you need to bridge that gap between what you don't know to what you do know and can know. And so it is like that with trading as well. It seems impossible. It seems out of reach. It seems difficult because your perspective needs to change. And if you can change your perspective, if you can close that gap, come closer, then you can change your perception. And if you change your perception, you can change your reality. Before I hand over to our head coach, I know he's going to allow this for a moment. And I want to say to someone who joined this thing tonight, who's saying to themselves, "You know what? I need something, coach, and I need help." And so I'm joining this wealth challenge because I need a breakthrough. And I'm not talking about you don't have money and stuff. I'm saying you just need a next step. You want to increase your wealth. You want to leave something for your children's children, and you want to leave an inheritance. I want to say to you that it's not always going to be like this. You're at the right place at the right time and a God-ordained moment. So let me leave you with this. I'm a man of many talents. I'm no longer shying away from any one of them. Let me leave you with this. It won't always be like this. God will perfect what's concerning you. Sooner or later, it will turn in your favor. It's turning around for you. One more time. Sing with me if you know it. It won't always be like this. Someone needed to hear this tonight, this kingdom. God will perfect what's concerning you. Sooner or later, it will turn in your favor. It's turning around for you. Your hands and mine for the great Brian King.
Wow. Woo! Coach got me fired up. Do me a favor. If you got some value, put it in the chat and let this man know the value that you received. Turn it around right now. Can I just ask you a question? Do you believe? Is it possible? You see, before we got on these calls, right? We pray. We always say, Lord, use us, give us wisdom, give us creative ideas. Let us know what we need to do to serve your people. And ladies and gentlemen, can I just share something with you, just a burden of mine? I am so tired of seeing God's people defeated. I'm so tired of having people that have been well-meaning and hoping for the best, and yet year after year things just aren't changing, and you're wanting to get a breakthrough. And so there was something that rose up in me and rose up in my wife and rose up in Coach CHADWIN, and we said, send us. Let's go. Let's go. If you can't do it in the chat, please, hashtag let's go. Let's go. Now I have a question for you. We've been talking about the 3 M's, say them with me: mindset, multiplication, and management. Day 1 was me talking about the kingdom mindset. Day 2, we've been talking about multiplication, how to multiply your skill, learning the talent, getting yourself in position, ready to go, pushing forward. Does that make sense? Is it okay if I show you a kingdom solution? I'm going to wait. Is it okay if I give you a kingdom solution? Quick story. A couple of years ago, I wanted to get the 65-inch Samsung 4K TV. And I know that I got some people on here that love to have those nice TVs. And so I had been looking at it for a while. I kind of counted the cost. I wanted to wait till Black Friday so that I could get a deal. And the TV was actually about $2,000 cheaper. Okay? And so I stand in line at Best Buy. My people in South Africa, that's an electronics store over here. And so I'm waiting in Best Buy. I finally get the TV, and there was a gentleman that was trying to talk to me, asking me questions about the TV. And truth be told, I don't feel too good about it. I kind of blew him off because I just wanted the TV. And so I get home, I plug the TV up, and the TV looks nothing like it did at the store. And I'm frustrated, because I spent this money on this TV. I've been saving for this TV, and I wanted to get a great picture, and I had assumed that it was going to work. And so I go back up there. I kind of storm in there, and I'm never rude, but I find a guy, and I said, hey, excuse me, man. I plugged up the TV. It doesn't work. And he says, well, of course. He said, of course. He says, yeah. He said, sir, I don't know if you remember, I was trying to speak to you and ask you about your TV, but you didn't have time to talk. Can I give you some truth? And I said, sure. He says, what a lot of people don't know is when you get this type of TV, it's not just a regular television. We first have to ask you the size of your room. There are certain type of HDMI cables that you need, which are the gold plated. You need to position it at a certain place in your home. You need to line up your speakers, and you need to do that so that you can have the optimal experience. As he's telling me this, I kind of lean back and I kind of chuckle a little bit. And I said, wow, this guy had a solution, but I didn't even know that I needed the solution. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you something. We have the solution. And I want to give this to you as well. You need the solution. So before we go in, I'm a gentleman. I don't force myself. Is it okay if I show you the solution so that you can learn how to trade? Type 7s in the chat. I'll wait for you. I'm a gentleman. I don't force myself. Put 7s in the chat if I can just show you something that potentially can change your life. And some of the questions that I'm going to be asking is if it's possible. Because at the end of the day, and maybe you've been guilty like me, right? You've heard people say things. You've seen other people winning. But some of the questions are, can I win? You understand what I'm saying? We got all these nice promotions. We do all these different things, but can I win from the perspective of it? And so I want to actually show you something. And so if you can, please write down this word. It's called kingdom framework and kingdom structure. Let me share my screen, and you guys give me thumbs up when you can see me. All right. Give me a 7 if you can see it okay. 7 if you can see it okay. So what I want to talk about is the Kingdom Wealth Challenge course information. Okay. Now, think about this in school. We got some people that went to college, some people in high school, some trade school. But normally when you went to school, you had something called a syllabus. You had a course outline. One of the biggest challenges when it comes to trading, it's just so many different things that are out there, and people try to a la carte their trading experience. And truth be told, what you have to understand, That's not how it works. Because if you were in an institution, they have structure, they have a syllabus. So we actually have a syllabus. We offer a 12-week course. And so let me just kind of break it down just to show you what it looks like to go to money school. Put a 7 in the chat if you want to look what it seems like to go to money school. Learn what it is to have some structure and accountability and teams and people working with you so that you can win. And so let's first start with it. Week 1, we focus on mindset training. That's right. Before you can achieve, you need to be able to believe. Am I speaking some truth right now? Then we're going to be talking about some of the trading basics, chapters 1 through 4, basics 1 through 4, and we want to get you to understanding. Remember the 3-tiered process, which also goes with the number 3 of the M3 strategy: theory, application, execution. So we have you reading multiple choice questions, trading in the zone. We have you reading naked trading books. And you know what happens, ladies and gentlemen? We're trying to give you the cumulative effect so that you can start building on your education. Say this with me. Next week. Week 2, we go over the foundations of institutional trading, parts 1 through 2. And in this week, your homework is to identify candle patterns. You know why? Because price action is king. So we show you how to go through the candle patterns so that you can be the signal yourself. Now, I don't know about you. I don't want to have to depend on somebody else to eat. I want to be able to cook my own meals. I want to be able to see the charts like I need to be able to see them. And so we have weeks 3 through 12. And here's where it gets fun. It gets fun because by week 3, now you're turning homework into our private student community where we have that for our premium students and our mastermind students. And what's beautiful about the community is you're going to have other students and coaches that look at your information and they'll be walking with you to see if you're understanding. Who likes that? Who likes the idea of having some coaching and some lab work? And before you blow money, you first learn first. You're getting the theory first. Week 6, that's when we're opening demo accounts. Now, let me just ask you, if you're going to be trading against the sharks, against the professionals, wouldn't it make sense to first practice with fake money? Wouldn't it make sense to get to the place that you're winning 60 to 65% of the time so that you know within yourself, I think I'm ready to go to the real world? So say this with me: theory, application, execution. Watch this. Here's where it gets fun. Week 7 through 12, that's when it gets advanced. And now we want to see if you understand. So we allow you to share this with your other students and with other coaches. And now you're doing the lab work. Now you've done the school part, but now it's time to take what we've learned in school and to put it into action. That's called application. Let's keep on going. Also, you're going to have a student portal. Say this with me. It's awesome to have a membership site. Now, in this student portal, we have it broken down where you actually tell you exactly what you need to do. Watch this. You have foundations of day trading part 1, even before it says start here. We have it where we can look at percentages. And so I don't know if you remember the first testimonial, but the gentleman's name was Matthew. And so I remember when he had started probably about 2.5 months ago. This gentleman finished about 90% of the material in about a week and a half to 2 weeks. And you know what happened? His trading went to the next level. Say this with me. It's possible. So if you take time to develop the skill will pay you. Say this with me. Chase the education and the money will follow. Chase the education and the money will follow. So then we have it broken down from homework, what you need to do, what you need to read, and we're taking out all the guessing work so that you can have an understanding of what it is to become an institutional day trader. Let's keep on going. Then we have live classes. Now, here's where it gets very powerful. Do you see everybody on here? They look like you. They sound like you. We have a diverse body of students. You know what I like about this? But here's what the common denominator is. They're all kingdom type people. And they all trade options. But then also they're learning currencies. They're learning the skills so that the money will follow. Now, here's another thing that I like about this. Our group has been growing. Remember, we want to get 10,000 people. But in this group, we have groups within the group. So now it's not just you showing up. It's now you meeting your classmate and asking how your classmate's doing it. Sometimes we do crazy stuff like this. We pray for you. We had one of the guys in class, his name is Jay. Jay had cancer, and so he was giving us updates, and he was talking about how he got some good news that he was becoming cancer-free, and we celebrated him. We had another guy that had some challenges in his family, and you know what we did? We prayed for him. What we're doing, ladies and gentlemen, is putting kingdom together with wealth, and we're doing what God called us to do, which is making an impact. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say you're busy, because truth be told, we have people from around the world. We had somebody from Australia that said, hey, coach, can you send me a link? I mean, hey, I'm on a different side of the world. Guess what? You can watch the live recordings. And in these live recordings, we have them in the back office. We actually label the recordings. And in these particular recordings, we want to have it so that you keep on having the information so that you are without excuse that you're not growing. We give you the tools. Now say this with me. If I give you the tools, then I got to use the tools. Let's keep on going. Also, you get this workbook. Let's give a shout out to Coach CHADWIN and Coach Cindy, because they actually wrote this book. Now, I don't know about you. I'm kind of old school a little bit. I mean, I know they got all this digital stuff, but I like to touch a physical book. And so you have the ability to print out the book, and all the examples, you have a copy of it, but we have corresponding videos as well. How awesome is that? And so on here, you can actually click the book. And as you're clicking the book, guess what? It'll go to the next page, and then to the next page, and to the next page. Very, very powerful. Let's go. Now, I want to talk about something. And so if you can, ladies and gentlemen, just say this with me. Investment. Investment. Because we have to look at the cost of education. And so years ago, I remember when I worked at this academy. I'm about to shock you guys. Hopefully you're sitting down or you don't pass out. But I remember I worked at this academy. I gave 7 years of my life. They treated me so well. And in this academy, they blessed me, because before them, I really wasn't traveling. I really wasn't going places. But because I was a life and business coach, they hired me to work with individuals who were struggling with fear and greed and FOMO. And they said, you know, coach, trading is so psychological. We want to hire you because we want you to help students who need to understand investment. Now, watch this, ladies and gentlemen. When you look at these prices, notice they're not cheap. And so I first saw this and I said, my God, people are paying $24,000 to learn how to trade. And I remember my coach told me they would only pay $24,000 if the skill set that you're teaching them can make them $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000. And he says, you need to change your mindset. Watch this. Now, what I started to notice was I would teach these classes, and there was a people group, middle income America, that wanted to change. But the problem was they didn't have $24,000. Am I speaking to somebody? They didn't have it. They had the desire, but they didn't have the resource. And so what I found out was that this company was really tailoring their education to people that had a net worth of about $250,000 and up. Does that make some sense? And so the question would be, and I'm going to ask this question to you as well. If you could learn a skill set that can give you uncapped learning potential, what is the value of that? Because let's put in perspective. Let's say today that I wanted to go to barber school. Let's just be very real about it. If I wanted to go to barber school in Texas, do you know it's going to cost me between $10,000 to $15,000 US to become a barber? I'm just giving some truth. If I wanted to